running for City Council, and my experience level goes back to 2008 with the city, where I began as an Economic Development Advisory Commissioner, chaired that commissioner, and still sit on that commission as of today. I've had nearly 20 years of experience in working with city councils, mayoral staff, engineering, planners, and other staff with cities from Pleasanton to Hayward to Union City and Newark, as well as our own Fremont. That experience level and my business acumen will definitely be an asset as I go and run for City Council this year. Okay. I've had several questions. One was how to support and protect our environment, and of course I'm being supported by Kimber Park, and I've also supported Measure T, which is our hillside initiative there to protect our open space lands in our city. And I think that's something that a responsible city councilman should do. You should be responsible for both quality development as well as protecting the environment. That's something I strongly advocate for and look for to have a balanced type of lookout for our city. With regard to the plastic bag ban, I definitely support that. I think our city can do without the plastic bags at this time. I think people have gotten used to the idea of bringing their own bags to and from shopping centers and so forth. And I think the time has come to eliminate plastic bags from the city of Fremont. How will that affect businesses? I think minimally, if any, at all. Excuse me. I think, again, most people have their own bags now and can work with that. The charge to people for not bringing their bags, that will soon rectify any situation where people no longer bring them with them. And I think it's a good move for our environment. We have two areas that I'd like to call destination points, or that I'd like to see be made as destination points for our city, and that's the downtown area and the Warm Springs area. We also have an additional one in Centerville. The downtown area would be wonderful if we had a cultural arts center to draw people in and to take people from BART to our wonderful new downtown. The general plan that had been approved or just got approved within the last month or so is an excellent plan, but that destination point will be an asset to attracting crowds from other cities, something that Fremont desperately needs. Likewise, the Warm Springs area in Fremont is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity with nearly 800 acres of developable site in and around the Tesla plant, and located at the new BART station in Warm Springs that will be completed sometime around 2015. The Urban Land Institute did a wonderful study there that said it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, that it should be an iconic development, and to that end we'd like to see maybe a cultural arts event center there, a high-tech campus, beautiful high-density homes, transit-oriented development, some beautiful restaurants with fresh food, and maybe even an enclosed farmer's market. That's my personal vision, not anybody else's. But I'd like to have an attraction or a destination point, as I mentioned earlier, to help bring revenue and sales tax generated from other places besides Fremont alone, and take the responsibility off of Fremont citizens' backs to be the 100% supplier of the money needed to provide for police and fire and so on. My vision for Centerville has to do with my meetings that I've already had with people from the Centerville Business District there. They are a very excited bunch, very intellectual and articulate in their desire and design for a different Centerville, a beautiful downtown Centerville, if you will. And to that end, they've already created a business plan which I think is absolutely fantastic. And it does call for the renovation of the theater there in Centerville, as well as refacing the storefronts to that area and creating a more pedestrian-friendly environment. I wholly applaud the citizens of Centerville for their active participation in this, and I look forward to helping them develop a new, beautiful downtown Centerville area. With regard to the Irvington BART station, well, I'm in favor of Measure B1, which does in fact help provide funds to help build the Irvington BART station. And again, I think that's something we do need in Fremont. We need to create those destination points, those areas where people will come to our city and help spend their tax dollars to help support our services with regard to police and fire and so forth. So I do see the Irvington BART station going in and being an asset to Centerville. Okay, so the question is, how would I represent North and South Fremont? Well, North Fremont is Ardenwood and Niles. To that end, I've spoken to residents there, and I actually live in Niles myself. and love the little bedroom community type atmosphere that you have down there with the beautiful downtown Niles area. And I would definitely support those members of the community. In fact, I've been a Niles Centerville Little League umpire now for almost 8 years or so, and love the community that it has developed there. And so definitely can support members there. There's also mobile home parks over there in North Fremont, and I definitely look to support mobile home park owners. That's a different type of home ownership, and usually it's the elderly and fixed income type homeowner, and definitely want to look out for their best interest with that regard. In Warm Springs, we have a nice community down there, but again, we have that Warm Springs development area, which will be hugely beneficial to our city, but we have to be very responsible in how we develop that. So we want to be careful as we develop around that BART station that we don't impact too many other places in Warm Springs. And we also want to be cognizant as we do develop that we're also watching out for school impacts as well. To that end, I definitely want to work with our school board members and Alameda County School Board to see what we can do to make sure that our schools are properly represented before any development takes place. One of the first things that I did when I first decided to run for City Council was to be an advocate for all our schools here in Fremont and beyond. And to that end, I met with school board members from not only Fremont, but also from Newark and Union City. And I also talked to Alameda County School Board member Eileen McDonald, whose support I have, and then Tom Torlakson, our State Superintendent of Schools. I've also organized an education advocacy event that's to be held later on this month, again combined with Alameda County School Board members, Newark and Union City School Board members, as well as Loney College trustees, in the hopes that we could get together and just sort of talk and see what kind of things that we can do together with regard to how the council impacts schools and decisions that schools make that impacts our city, and see what we can do to keep those lines of communication open. A little while ago, we had the opportunity to have the A's consider putting a stadium here in our city. Many spoke out against it and eventually cheered the fact that the A's were sent away, and I feel it's very sad because we here as citizens of Fremont have the ability, the education, the wherewithal to be able to negotiate and work around situations and help provide for our city. In that instance, I feel that we kind of did not live up to what we can do. The A's would have been a definite asset here. They would have been a great destination point, and they're one of the biggest charity givers of any baseball entity that I know of in the United States. Having them here would have been a blessing and would have provided almost $1 billion worth of revenue to the Tri-City area over a 10-year period. Not to mention all the jobs that were lost and still trying to be found again here back in 2012, and we were of course talking about this in 2008 or so. So I think that there was a couple different opportunities there that we could have had them there. I'm not giving up on that yet. Would love to see them here in Fremont. I think they would be a great draw for not only Fremont and Alameda County, but also the South Bay area. And to that end, if we ever get the opportunity to speak with them again, I would definitely be happy to work on that and bring them to Fremont. I spoke earlier that we had a couple of ideas for destination points, or actually three specifically. That would be Centerville, our downtown area, and our Warm Springs area. And the idea is to create destination points to draw in sales tax revenue to help support and increase our police services and our fire services within the city. Our current gang task force membership, our squad, is at historic lows for the city in terms of their ability to work with or work against gangs. And our police force is at 1986 levels. And part of that has to do with the economy, but also the fact that Fremont as a whole does not have a destination point within its city that draws people from surrounding cities to ours. We have the hub and we have Pacific Commons. We do have some nice restaurants in downtown Fremont, but nothing that's going to attract people from Pleasanton or Palo Alto or even Milpitas and San Jose. And so it's very important that if we want to create the type of sales tax revenue that's going to increase police and fire services, that we create these destination points within our city to make that happen. So what type of destination points or revenue producers do we want to see in our city? Well, I already spoke to the Cultural Arts Center that we'd like to see in the downtown area, as well as the Convention Center or Event Center in Warm Springs. In Warm Springs specifically, they talked about an innovation way where we'd have a nice boulevard that comes right off the BART station, have a cultural arts center there, an event center there, high-tech campus, beautiful transit-oriented development with beautiful fresh food restaurants used by chefs, with maybe even a farmer's market there, something that would attract people from other cities to come to our city. This will be a great revenue producer and something that I feel other people from other cities will be happy to come and see and visit our city for. With regard to our historical districts, definitely want to work with the people in the communities where these historical buildings and so forth are found to see what we can do about not only maintaining them but also improving them and sustaining them for years to come. I've already spoken to some members of the mission community with regard to developing a plan where we might be able to allocate funds to help sustain those sites, and we'll continue and would enjoy working with other people from other parts of Fremont, including Niles and Centerville and so forth, to help maintain and preserve the historical integrity of our city. One of the things that I like most about our city is its benefit to business. I've sat on the Economic Development Advisory Commission now for almost 4 years, and I've actually chaired that committee. And so I've had the opportunity to go out and see businesses like Lamb and Seagate and others, and see what it takes to help those businesses thrive, as well as what it takes to keep businesses here, and then also to attract businesses for future. Again, I think I'm going to go back a little bit and talk to you about destination points. I believe those are imperative for our city. Having a high-tech campus, some great development around the BART station and so forth are imperative to helping draw people to our city, both from a business standpoint and from a business-to-business support system. Love our businesses here. I have my own business here that I've been running since 2007. It was a business started by my father back in 1972, and we've had a lot of wonderful times here in Fremont. And I really look forward to not only promoting and helping businesses thrive, but making it easier for them through the planning stage and working with our planning department. And to that end, I want to talk and work with our city staff and see what we can do about streamlining the process and making the process more accountable from the time that you walk in until the time you're actually given your business license here with the city. Part of what it takes to attract business sometimes is an investment by the city. And to that end, I know our city's already incentivized and attracted or given its incentives to green businesses to draw and bring their businesses here. To some extent, I'd like to see that extended to other businesses and support businesses as well, not only for green tech, but also for high tech and other applications within our city. In San Jose, for instance, Adobe was brought to the city of San Jose through an investment by the city sometime back in the late 90s, I believe, at which point they built a single tower in the city of San Jose. Today, they're just finishing their third tower and have over 3,000 employees working there. So investment now could mean for a prosperous future, and that's something I see in our city's future.